nuclear capabilities. Let's bring in some new perspective on this international news. Corri Zoli is an assistant professor at the Maxwell School at Syracuse University and a familiar face here on CBS 5. Thanks for coming in.
Sure.
This has sort of been unconventional from the start. The way the plan for the summit was announced, all of this interim, maybe it won't happen, maybe we're hopeful it'll happen, and then finally today. What do you make of today in the announcement?
I think that this is a great example of how negotiations are a language of power. And so we're seeing stuff on the surface. Somehow this president of all people is impacted by insults. I don't think so, right? So what we think we're seeing on the surface is not reflective of what's actually going on here in terms of the power dynamics.
The specific insult was directed at the vice president,
That's right.
to my knowledge today.
Right.
What do they call him? So a political dummy or something?
Right, and then also apparently a threat of nuclear war against the United States as well. But, I mean, this is a president that doesn't shy from this kind of rhetoric.
Right, getting into it with somebody.
Right, exactly. This is his cup of tea. So that's not really the issue. What's going on here is this president is trying to reassert control. He's trying to strengthen the resolve of President Kim of North Korea. President Kim has been known for executing these big events, a summit, some kind of negotiation, and then moving the goalposts at the last minute. So our president wants to make sure that we don't get all the way to June, to the Singapore summit, and then have the whole negotiation collapse on us. So that's partly what's at issue. And I think the most important factor is President Trump is pressuring China, pressuring Chairman Xi, and basically suggesting to him that you need to manage your client a little bit better. And President...
manage your client a little bit
meaning
better.
North Korea.
Sure.
Right. I think that's what's involved in this as well. So President Trump is using a kind of three-pronged strategy here.
Okay, so on the international stage, who wins, who loses today?
Who wins today? It's just it's a cover. Basically, if you had to score it, this would be President Trump reasserting control. So he's in the power seat here now.
What happens next?
What happens next?
Do the people that are... I mean, a summit isn't... If you and I are going to have a summit and we both run countries, we don't really get into the weeds generally of... We've got a lot of people who work for us.
Right.
So all of those people, let's take just the United States. You know, we've got all these people at the State Department. We saw Secretary of State Mike Pompeo go there. What are all those folks working on now?
Right. So apparently Kim, yesterday or the day before, destroyed some of his tunnels. I don't know if you saw that in the news. So that suggests some good faith progress here. But Pompeo also mentioned in the news today that he felt they were being ghosted by President Kim. In other words, he wasn't making enough progress in the incremental steps that they were stipulating. So there is some work going on diplomatically behind the scenes, but we're suggesting at two levels of our government that it's not enough.
I think about those mid-level government people who work on this stuff, and what a weekend they're going to have.
But don't despair,
spinning.
because I think we're going to go forward with this. This is just part of the negotiations.
Well, the ratings would be huge, right? And that's some of what the president likes to tout.
Maybe.
Corri Zoli with Syracuse University's Maxwell School. Thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for coming in.